Now available in paperback and Kindle, All About Marilyn. Learn all about the struggles of a faded former teen sitcom star in this absolutely fabulous 5-star screenplay. Get All About Marilyn in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com today. Actress Viola Davis and some of the stars and producers of The Woman King want to try to shame black people for not supporting the film. Now, earlier this year, your Viola Davis made a response as related to boycotts of The Woman King, saying, "Don't come see it, then you're sending a message that a black woman can't lead a box office globally and that you are supporting the narrative." Now, when I hear this statement, I have to call BS on this argument because it's not about a black woman leading the box office globally. It is about how that black woman is presented on screen and how she represents the female image. Because what your Viola Davis is presenting in The Woman King is no different than what Halle Berry presented in Monsters Ball back in 2001. And if black people go out here and support that narrative globally, what they are doing is saying that a black person's image is not worth respecting. Because that's what people do when they go out here and spend money on movie tickets to watch movies like Monsters Ball and The Woman King. They are sending a message that a black person's image is something that nobody needs to respect. And the message that Viola Davis is sending to people is that we don't need to respect the black woman's image. Now, when I look at this whole argument that Viola Davis is trying to make, it's basically the same old argument I have heard over the past 30 years in the entertainment industry. And that argument is that black people have to go out here and support whatever film is out here, because if we don't support that film, your Hollywood won't make any more. And I have to call BS on that argument because we should have a standard for our image, and we should not have to sit here and settle for watching films that are substandard in order to go out here and assure that other black films wind up being made. Because the white supremacists who control Hollywood are not going to honor that covert contract that many black filmmakers and actors and people in the entertainment industry want to go out here and imply that will be the case, but that's never been the case at all. I mean, if your Viola Davis wants to go out here and push this same argument, oh, don't come see it, then you're sending a message that black women can't lead the box office globally. Well, where were you when your girl, Ava DuVernay, was out here with her film A Wrinkle in Time? Now, your Ava DuVernay came out here with this film, A Wrinkle in Time, which had a black female lead, and people didn't go see that film, and they didn't go see that film because the film was absolutely horrible. Where's the shaming language as related to your girl, Ava DuVernay's Wrinkle in Time? Because I find it interesting, again, that your Viola Davis wants to sit here and talk about, oh, people shouldn't go out here and boycott this film. No, what black people are saying is we want a standard for our entertainment, and we are no longer going to settle for content that degrades the image of black men and black women, nor are we going to accept substandard films that don't have any sort of standard for storytelling. The days of black people sitting here and going out here to support a black film by a black producer like a Lee Daniels or a Tyler Perry, or even in this case a Viola Davis, which is of poor quality, like your Monsters Ball, like your Precious, like your Tyler Perry movies. We are past those days, and we are past the days of just supporting a black person just because they are black. No, skin folk ain't kinfolk no more, and we're tired of people like a Viola Davis trying to shame black people into supporting black content that either degrades the black male or the black female image, like the Woman King, or goes out here and exploits black people, like that poverty porn known as Precious, or is just absolutely of the poorest quality, like a Tyler Perry. Now, after your Viola Davis tried to go out here and shame people about supporting the Woman King, we had one of the actors and producers, Julius Tenon, talking about how they had to so-called fictionalize the story behind the Dahomey in The Woman King. Now, your Julius Tenon goes on to say it's history, but we have to take license. We have to entertain people. If we just told the history lesson, which we very well could have, it could have been a documentary. I call bullshit on that as a writer and a screenwriter, and I know that, yes, your screenplays are adaptations of historical periods, but with The Woman King, they take such liberties that we don't really see any actual history. No, we see white supremacy trying to push propaganda and trying to promote anti-black racism in this film. Now, this whole film is about the so-called Dahomey tribe, and this Dahomey tribe was known for participating in the slave trade. They're not just fictionalizing history with this film. No, this film is nothing more than anti-black propaganda, and this anti-black propaganda is designed to go out here and degrade the black female image by masculinizing the black woman and going out here and emasculating the black man. What type of liberties are being taken here when your white supremacists are out here going out here pushing old narratives that we've seen since the antebellum South? That's the critical question I would like to ask Julius Tenon as related to fictionalizing the history, because when I see them so-called fictionalizing the history, all I see them doing is repackaging the old same racist stereotypes we have seen since the days of the slavery in the antebellum South, where your white racists wanted to go out here and degrade the black female image by masculinizing the black woman and going out here and presenting her as a virile, masculine woman. Thank you, Professor Black Truth, for presenting that talking point, because I really think it's factual here. But the whole thing is that you're saying, oh, that this masculinization is them taking license with history. No, again, this is white supremacy going out here and making a mockery of the black woman in an effort to entertain white supremacists. Your Julian Tenon thinks, oh, it's entertaining people. No, passively, it's about entertaining people, but aggressively, it's about going out here and making a mockery of black women so that the white supremacists can get entertained and have a jolly old laugh at the black woman's expense. And that's not history. No, that's white supremacy. And that's what they're doing with this film when they call themselves going out here and adapting this story. And I have to wonder again, why did they choose to adapt this story when we have lots of other great stories that we could have told as related to black history? Again, as somebody who has studied black history, I would have loved to see a story about the late Matt Baker, the first black comic book artist, or I would have loved to have seen a story about the late Dwayne McDuffie before he wound up passing away far too soon. I mean, these are great black people who we could make stories about that could inspire and uplift our brothers and sisters, but your Hollywood doesn't want to make these movies because they don't fit their narrative. And because their narrative is white supremacy, what they do is go get their bootlicks like your Julius Tenon or your Viola Davis, and they have them trying to get away with making a minstrel show, because we know your Viola Davis is known for that ABC series, How to Get Away with Being a Minstrel. I mean, How to Get Away with Murder. And what she's trying to do is help these white supremacists get away with the minstrel show they have put on called The Woman King, and these other black people in Hollywood they're out here looking to go out here and try to make it look like it's black people's fault for not supporting their movie. No, again, black people like myself who go out here and can produce content, we know the difference between quality content and what we're not sending a message that a black woman can't lead a box office globally. No, what we're saying is we're not supporting negative and anti-black narratives in the form of films because we know that we can do better. I myself, as a writer, a novelist, a screenwriter, and a comic book writer, I can go out here and produce positive stories about black people. I can present diverse stories about black people and black experiences, like the black goth subculture, black businesses, and even stories about black sororities and black fantasy. So I know that there is a way to go out here and write these stories, and I know that there's a global audience for those stories, and I know that a black female character can lead in the marketplace globally because I've written several books that have been sold all over the world. So I know that there's an audience out there, and that audience isn't interested in watching movies like The Woman King that degrade the black female image. They're not interested in watching masculine black women. No, what they want are balanced, humanized stories, and you can't shame black people like myself and many others to supporting that content. And you can't go out here and think that you're going to run the same old games. We need to support this content because in the black community, I am held to a higher standard. I mean, the SJS Direct imprint is held to a completely different standard than many of your Hollywood types are, and I'm not allowed to come out here with content that degrades the black female image. I'm not allowed to go out here and produce content that makes mockery of black people because as an independent publisher, if I come out with that content, people are gonna punish me at the cash register or e-commerce, which is where most of my books are sold. But your Viola Davis, she wants a special pass for being a black person and getting support for your content. No, if I can't have that standard for me, and I'm an independent publisher, your Viola Davis should not expect that pass for going out here and producing content just because she's black. No, we are far past those days where hustlers like Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and your Shonda Rhimes can go out here and get away with producing minstrel shows. No, those days are over, and more black people are demanding better quality entertainment as related to content, and we're demanding that if you want to go out here and lead in a place like the book market or the box office globally, then you're going to have to present a narrative as related to presenting a positive and balanced image of black people, and you're going to have to go out here and present a quality story like I am being told every day that I have to go out here and do, because I can't go to my readers and say I'm going to give you a substandard story, no, and get away with it, and now your blacks in Hollywood are now going to be held to that exact same standard, because that's the message that is sent by black people when they went out here and boycotted The Woman King and sent it to be a box office bomb at the box office. Because black people are saying, look, if you want the black dollar, you're gonna have to go out here and work for it like I do. And if you want to entertain black people, you're gonna have to do better than half-done productions. No, your productions are going to have to meet the same standard that the work I produce on the SJS Direct imprint meets, where we're going to have a quality story, multi-dimensional characters, a full, tight, and compact storyline, and you're going to have to go out here and build a character transformation arc for your hero and your heroine, and have a full story for the beginning, a middle, and an end. So you're going to have to come to the table with a lot more, and the shaming language done by people like your Viola Davis and your Julius Tenon. Those days are over. You're not going to be able to run that game telling us, oh, we have to take license with history. No, as a screenwriter and a writer, again, I adapt material all the time, like I did with ISIS Imitation of Life, which took place in the 1930s. And yes, while I adapted the story for the 1930s and I presented Black history in that story, I still had to show Black women in a respectable way in the Black town that they were in. And I also, as I was doing this, talked about the impact of Jim Crow, but I never degraded the Black woman's image in ISIS Imitation of Life. And again, if I can put fingers to the keyboard and go out here and entertain people and present Black people in a positive light and make the history appear as related to the positives of Black people, then people who have millions of dollars more than I do can go out here and present us with a positive picture of Black people in a time period. I mean, I've done this for multiple books, such as ISIS Imitation of Life, which takes place in Jim Crow America. I did it with Easting the Sands of Time, which took place in ancient Egypt. And I've also done it with several books set in the 80s, like Spellbound, which is set in 1989. John Haynes' 1987, which is coming out next year, which is set in 1987. If I can go out here and give you a fictionalized story set in the past, but still make Black people appear in a positive light, on a shoestring budget, running a small independent publisher, then your Viola Davis, your Julius Tenon, and all of the Blacks in Hollywood, they can go out here and do the same thing instead of looking to go out here and lick the boots of the white supremacists in Hollywood and try to put on a minstrel show that entertains them and degrades us. No, if you want the Black dollar, again, you're going to have to go out here and put in that work and spend money on presenting us in the way we want to be seen, not the way the white supremacist wants to be seen. Because if you want to have a box office success, you're going to have to give us what we want. And we know that there's an audience, again, for Black films with the success of Black Panther. But what your Viola Davis and many of the other bootlicks in Hollywood want to do is they want to sell out that audience, hoping to get a larger white audience. But that audience didn't come out for The Woman King because these people out here aren't interested in seeing anti-Black racism. No, most Black people and most people all over the world, they want balanced, humanized images of Black people. And that if we can't get those types of media from Hollywood, you can come over to SJS Direct, get that media over here, and that type of story, again, will inspire and uplift you. And if Hollywood doesn't want to do it, all these people, they can take their ticket money for the tickets to The Woman King and spend it over here at SJS Direct. So if you want to see some positive portrayals of Black women, you can pick them up on SJS Direct in the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the Spinsterella trilogy, books like A Recipe for Success and The Thetas, and you can find all those books in paperback and Kindle format on Amazon.com, Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play, and many other online booksellers. And if you want to see me make more videos about the entertainment industry, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a wicked werewolf in this action-packed all-new E-Steam series adventure. Get E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, All About Nikki, a fabulous first season. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meets Clueless in this absolutely fabulous African-American 1990s teen sitcom. Get all 13 episodes of All About Nikki, the fabulous first season, in paperback and e-readers today.